wants a microphone.
So are you guys the second best team in the country?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm not worried about that. You know, it's 4 games in, and I've watched about 7 teams. So.
Is there anywhere in particular? I'm sorry, were you going to go?
Well, yeah, I was going to follow. Yeah, in your experience, Chris, how long does it take to get a feel for a team or how good a team is? Or does it vary team to team?
I don't know. I never worry about that. I mean, I really don't worry about how bad we are or how good we are. I mean, I just worry about what I put on the practice plan and that we're executing it, and let other people judge that.
You all have been a pretty heavy favorite the past 3-4 games. Is there anywhere in particular you've seen improvement, even despite that?
It's really hard to tell. I think that we're continuing to play unselfish. I think we're making, for the most part, the right pass. I think for the most part, we're taking pretty good shots. Defensively, I thought, we were really good against Indiana State, not as good against North Carolina Central. And so we have improvements that we have to make. I think guys have played consistent for the most part. I think guys like Fresh and Darius have improved, especially Fresh. I think he's a guy that early on in the season was questioning himself. I think he's really started to find his niche on the team and understands, what he wants from his coaching staff and is delivering it. So, but I think that we're getting consistent play from most of the guys. The freshmen are inconsistent, both in practice and in games. I thought Aiden, as I said after last game, probably his best game, especially on the defensive end. He's improving dramatically, and so that's always good to see with your young guys.
Chris, how much of the shooting and the good shooting is, you obviously have some good shooters, but it seemed like the other night you made some passes that got really, I don't want to say easy shots, but easier shots than maybe you would have in that game.
Yeah, I mean, that's the quest, is to generate really good looks, whether they're interior, whether they're on the perimeter. We know Steven is probably playing an all-time high in terms of his confidence. We have to find ways to get him the ball inside, without going overboard, turning the ball over, and putting him in tough spots. But, when you can be a team that attacks the paint, gets in the lane, whether it's in transition, drives, post-ups, offensive rebounds, set plays, then you can generate some really good looks. And as I said before, I think our guys are trying to make the right play, and we are shooting the ball with great confidence right now.
Coach, once David and Malik do come back, how do you plan on kind of easing them into the lineup they've been playing?
Well, I think you answered your own question. We're going to have to ease them in simply because of conditioning, because of, them being a little rusty. The fact that we've got 8 or 9 guys that are used to playing, but they're going to be hard to keep off the floor. And our team as a whole has to understand, that it's about the whole. It's about the team. It's about sacrificing some things, whether that's a few shots, whether that's a few minutes, whether that's a starting role. But elite teams and great teams are willing to do that, even despite the outside noise trying to tear you apart.
You think we'll potentially see them tomorrow?
Probably not. I still think we, as a coaching staff and our athletic trainer, we have to see them in live situations in practice before we say, okay, let's just put them out there on game night. And that's for their long term, not necessarily our team's long term. I'd love to get them out there, as quickly as tomorrow night, but I don't think that's something they're ready for, even though I know that they would tell you differently.
Coach, I know it has been still early in the season, but you just kind of bounced off Malik and David. Have you been able to see the benefits for the guys like Aiden and Darius, Fresh, like guys getting even more minutes and more experiences on the court?
I hope so, even more reps in practice. When those 2 guys went down, I was pretty clear that I thought, although I was devastated for each of them, disappointed, Been through injury myself years ago. I know what that feels like, that natural separation that teammates have. The camaraderie that you feel as a player in the locker room is different when you're injured. But I did think that, ultimately it could, not it would, but it could make us a deeper team. It would give some of the young guys more reps in practice, more opportunity to screw up in games and learn from. And, would they have played as much against Miami or Youngstown State had David and Malik been healthy? I don't know, but probably not.
What stands out with USC Upstate film?
Well, they're really young. They're a young team. They're really trying to execute on offense. They're just not shooting it very well. And so with young kids, sometimes the speed of the game and just the little things that you have to do to get open, to create a good look, and then ultimately knock it down, takes a little bit of confidence. And, the difficulty, I think, when you're Coach Dickerson is you have no juniors and seniors that can sort of set the tone. We're on the other end of the spectrum. I've got fifth-year seniors. I got 4 fifth-year seniors on our team, and they don't have one junior or one senior on their team. So they're learning. I can imagine if I had 13 Quinn Slazinskis out there, the growing pains I would have. It'd be 2 of us get an appendectomy.
When you have games like this where the team knows that they're heavily favored and stuff, are you pleased with how these guys have approached each game, knowing that they are still heavy favorites?
I can't answer that question until after tomorrow night. I'm not giving our team any credit for how we played against Indiana State or North Carolina Central for tomorrow night. My whole thing with our guys is you have to be an everyday guy. You have to be an every play guy. Good competitors, good players, great teams. It doesn't matter what the opponent looks like or who they are. You come out and you play to your standard. And we haven't always done that for 40 minutes, which is extremely difficult. But we need to get closer to getting to 40 minutes to our standard, no matter who we play. And when we do, it won't matter if we're playing USC Upstate or we're playing Texas Tech or we're playing Duke. It will not matter. And it doesn't mean we'll win every game, but I'll be able to go to sleep at night feeling like our kids gave the best effort, and now it's improving some areas. And we'll improve or try to improve through a win or through a loss. Both have teaching moments.
You mentioned the passing and guys being able to, for the most part, make the right play. Is that a big leap from where you guys were last year? Because I know you have more shooters to give the ball to, so is that just kind of a natural progression?
Well, we're running a different offense. CC had the ball a lot in his hands a year ago, and I don't think there's any coach in America that wouldn't want him making plays for his teammates. He was unselfish. He had an old man's feel for the game, and he did what the game told him to. If he was open, he shot the ball. If he'd get in the lane, he'd finish, spray out, and he'd run through a wall for you. We're not putting the ball in 1 or 2 guys' hands and letting them, do their thing and create for others. Ours is more off the ball, screening, cutting, passing, and I think that's more conducive to who we have on our team. And I think that if you can be unselfish and set a screen or cut away from the ball rather than to the ball at times, we'll be the better because of it. And so, so far so good.
Anyone else? All right, great, thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.